Okay, good evening. I'd like to call to order the October 8th public hearing for the City of Tampa's Architectural Review Commission. Welcome, everyone. I'm Ted Kempton, Chair of the Commission. If you are here to present a project, you will have limited time to make your presentation, so we suggest being thorough but concise. When coming to the microphone, you will need to identify yourself and your relationship to the project. The commissioners will not ask any questions during your presentation. Your project should be presented in the following order: site plan, elevations, architectural details, wall sections. Staff will then present their report. We will then ask for public comment. Please state and spell your name clearly if you are here to speak for or against a project. Your time will be limited to 3 minutes, so take some time now to summarize your comments because 3 minutes goes by very quickly. Following public comment, the commissioners will ask questions in the same order as the presentation. Next, the applicant will have 5 minutes for rebuttal. The public hearing will then be closed. After the public hearing is closed, no further testimony can be given. The commissioners will then discuss the case and will make their decision based on Chapter 27 of the City Code of Ordinances, the Design Guidelines, the Secretary of Interior Standards, Historic Preservation Development Review Committee comments, and the testimony given at the public hearing. The ARC can only act on items that are within our specific jurisdictional responsibility. Owner agents are independently responsible to obtain any appropriate permits and/or approvals. If you haven't already done so, please silence cell phones, and I'll do introductions of commissioners starting on my left.
Melanie Ketchum, Attorney Representative.
Brian Hammond, architect.
Tim Jones, General Contractor.
Okay, we also have Elaine Lunn, Jared Varnum, and our attorney Dana Crosby Collier in attendance.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on to the conflict of interest ex parte communication portion of our agenda. Does any member have a conflict with any item on the agenda this evening?
I do not.
Okay, and has any person engaged in an ex parte communication regarding any item on the agenda this evening?
I have not.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. Elaine Lund, Historic Preservation Staff. We have no continuations on our agenda this evening, so with that, we can move to the swear-in. And Jared Varnum will swear in everyone in council chambers who's here to speak tonight.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony being provided today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. This evening we have one item on our agenda for your review. This is case ARC 25-00000468 for the property located at 2712 North Jefferson Street in the Tampa Heights Historic District. The request that's before you this evening is for new construction for addition to a primary structure and site improvements. The particular structure in question is a non-contributing building. It's a single-family residence. It was built in 1994, so it was built prior to the Tampa Heights area becoming a historic district. At the time, there was a movement to build some homes in the area that were more consistent with the surrounding historic fabric, so I believe this house was kind of, built with that in mind. However, as we go through the photo presentation, you'll see how it was constructed and some of the existing conditions on site. So if we can move to the photo presentation, thank you. The property in question on 2712 North Jefferson Street is located about midway in the historic district. It's north of Columbus Drive and south of Gladys Street on the west side of Jefferson Avenue, just about across from Forest Street. There's, you'll notice if you are able to see the map there that the majority of the buildings around it are not contributing. I'm not sure actually if the shading's showing up on your screens. Yeah, we don't see that either. But I'll show you some photos. So moving to the Sanborn map. This is the Sanborn map from the 1920s, showing how the area was developed at that time. There was an existing dwelling on site, a one-story building, wood frame with a detached accessory structure, a garage located in the rear off the alley. This is a present-day aerial map of the property. Again, it's on the west side of Jefferson Street, across from Forest Avenue, north of Columbus Drive, and south of Gladys Street. And this is the front elevation of the subject house. So you can see from the front photo that the house does appear to have an elevated foundation. Interestingly, the way the house is constructed, as we move around it, you'll see that that does change from the front appearance here. So as we look at the, this is the south side, we're looking northwest here. And you can see a bit of the north elevation here. And then this is the rear of the property. You can see that in the back, the building is on grade. Directly to the north is a non-contributing building. And directly to the south is another non-contributing one-story residence. And then looking across the street, this is the property that's at the, on the north side of Forest, at the intersection with Jefferson Street. Here we're looking north along Jefferson Street, so the subject site would be on your left. And then looking south on Jefferson, you can see the where Forest Avenue comes up to the up to Jefferson Street there on your left, and the subject site would be to your right in this photograph. Looking behind the site, this is the alley, the view looking north, and the alley behind Jefferson Street and between Jefferson and Morgan Streets. And this is the view looking south in the alley, and you can make out a little bit of a Tampa Heights Elementary there in the distance. So that concludes the photo presentation. At this time, I'll ask the applicant to come forward and present the request. Yeah,
Just picks me up here?
that's the bar.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you, Elaine. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, members of the commission. I'm Christian Miller, agent and applicant for this addition at 2712 North Jefferson Street. I appreciate the opportunity to present to you guys this evening. Here, thank you. Here is the site plan for the proposed addition, showing the existing two-story home, the appropriate tree protection at the front for the two oaks, the associated setbacks for the property to show that the new addition is within setbacks. This addition will consist of a master bedroom, bathroom, closet, laundry, and an addition to the kitchen, which is located here at the backside. The parking situation, one of the conditions was to have a paved solid pads for the cars. We originally had a perpendicular parking situation that we had presented, but it created a conflict with a 90-degree turn-in, so we decided to just widen the apron and have them just pull in directly to satisfy that condition. We have a myrtle tree here that's located in the footprint of the addition that we have relocated here. All of the fence and gate is already in place, so there is no fencing or gates that are being proposed at this time. This is another survey just showing this is the updated tree survey that was requested, showing the trees that are within 20 feet of the property line. here, like Elaine partially discussed, here's the elevation that she showed of the front of the house. This is the rear elevation of the rear of the addition that we are proposing. Here are the north and south elevations. So this is showing the existing home on the.
Can you zoom out a little bit so we can see both at the same time?
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that.
That's good, thank you.
Okay, yes. So this is showing the connection of the addition to the existing structure. And like Elaine stated, the front is elevated. However, as you walk in the entryway, there are steps leading down to the kitchen and then to the living room that go down to the grade of the site, so that the finished grade is actually lower than what it shows on the front entry. Additional elevations colored with the front of the home as well as the rear. And this door is going into the kitchen. And this is the north and south elevations as well. This door here is off of the master bedroom in the addition. Here are some framing details. And I think the main detail would be this one showing the exterior portion. The roofing will match the 5V metal roof that's currently installed on the existing home. We will have exposed rafter tails to match the existing home in size and style. The house currently has vinyl siding. We are proposing hardy board siding on the addition due to the superiority of the material, as well as in the who knows distant future, the owners would like to return to your guys' presence and propose hardy siding on the front of the house as well. That's their anticipation once they achieve the funds needed to do so. There's the framing section of the wall. Here as well is the window head, jamb, and sill for the installation and framing thereof for the windows. This will be slab on grade. Here is a roof truss plan as well for your guys' reference. The material palette is as follows. This is an existing window, aluminum. The 3/1 with the exposed grids. And we are looking to continue that aesthetic. Give me 1 second. In the proposed windows, PGT aluminum. Zoom out. PGT aluminum. 3/1 with the exposed grids. The grids are not built into the glass. Here are the rafter tails that we are also looking to mimic on the addition. Here is a double door that they are proposing as well, with the French door full light with the additional side lights as well. Here's the roofing material, the 5V metal roof. Since we are going to be incorporating the hardy siding, here's the hardy trim siding that we are going to do around the windows. Hardy plank siding, smooth texture to match the existing texture of the vinyl. And that will conclude my presentation.
Thank you.
Elaine Lund, Historic Preservation staff. Staff found this application to be consistent with the Tampa Heights design guidelines with some conditions. I believe the applicant was able to address the majority of those in the revised drawings. There are a few things that I did note in the staff report that I just wanted to bring to your attention, such as there was previously shown a covered mudroom or something kind of like a rear porch on the rear, and that has been removed from the project, so that's no longer an applicable comment. And then I just kind of wanted to point out that, this is a non-contributing building, so the staff approach to reviewing this was a little different than how we would look at if they were adding an addition to a historic structure. I'm not really looking for the differentiation between historic and new construction here. Just looking for construction that's compatible with the existing building. So with that, if you have any questions for me, I am available. Thank you.
So Elaine, quick
Yes, sir.
question. Hardy board on non-contributing is acceptable. What about the aluminum windows?
The windows, I think in the interest of this project, since they're matching what's original to the house, I believe that they are appropriate. The Tampa Heights design guidelines do discuss not using metal windows, but I believe that's mentioned primarily in reference to as replacement windows on historic buildings.
Okay, thank you. Okay, not seeing anybody in the audience. We're going to move past public comment, and we will begin on my right with questions from the commissioners.
Can you pull your site plan back up?
Yes, sir.
I'm specifically looking for mechanical units, sidewalks, pads, steps.
Yes, sir.
Where is it?
You can go ahead and zoom into that too, please.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's the condenser pad, right here.
Okay.
This is the existing walkway for the house, and there are not any proposed walkways at this time.
What is this pad that I'm seeing down at the bottom where it says existing swale? What is that?
Down here,
Yeah, up a little bit high, right up against the house. Yeah, right underneath. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, right.
right there.
Yeah. What is that?
I do not know what that is. I don't know why that was included.
Okay. Do you have any way that you're planning on screening the AC systems and the mechanical systems on the project?
That is something that we can include. We haven't discussed that.
Okay. All right. What on the existing house right now, above the rafter tails? What is the soffit material? Is it?
There is no soffit material.
It's just plywood.
There's
Just
nothing.
the roof deck.
Yeah, it's actually just the actual roof itself.
Do you have a picture of that?
Yeah, I
somewhere?
will. Yep. All right. Here. So what you're seeing there is the rafter tails, and then that is the metal roof you can see between.
So it's on
the-
the roof. Okay. Different. Can you pull up your rear elevation for me for the new?
Yes, sir.
So on the existing home, you have a hip style roof, but on here on this back, you have a gable roof. Would you be opposed to going with a hip style roof on that bump out addition?
We can, I don't necessarily know if we're opposed to it. We just brought this style to them and they liked it, and so that was kind of where we ended the conversation, but it's something that we can bring up with them for sure. I don't think they would be opposed to it necessarily, but.
Okay, because you have no gables anywhere else on the home, so. the doors, your French doors that you have here on the back, are those 8-foot French doors?
I actually believe here there is a gable on the roof, right here, on the existing home.
Okay, all
As-
right,
if-
I stand corrected.
If I may show you here on the site plan, it shows that gable shape here on the rear.
Can you show me the picture of the rear of the house?
Do you have a picture of that?
One second, Commissioners, just going back to our photo presentation here. What do I supposed to-
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
No,
the
that's a
rear,
hip.
there's,
that's it, okay. On your rear elevation that you just,
Doesn't it jog?
Is that a hip?
It jogs.
yeah.
Okay.
that's not a
Yeah.
gable there.
Yeah.
That's a hip there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's exposed rafter tails down at the bottom.
Yeah,
So,
I see it.
okay, on your rear elevation, that you had, are those 6-8 doors or those 8-foot doors? They look like they're 6-8 doors.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And just for my own clarity, the doors that you showed us were 8-foot doors, is that correct?
I don't believe there was a size. That's the style that they're going
Okay.
for. But
Okay,
yeah,
that's fine. And the color of the roof, is it just a galvanized metal?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
it's to match the existing color.
Okay.
Of the roof.
That's all my questions.
I don't have any questions.
I don't have any questions.
I'll have some questions. Let's see. All right, so the mudroom is gone, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I keep leaning in thinking there's a mic or something, but
Yeah.
it's
fine.
confusing me. But yeah,
Okay.
we did do away with that. It was going to be a portion of the exterior that we were just going to frame in, be a place where they could store certain items, but they decided to not do that.
All right, perfect. Can you put the rendered elevations back up, please?
Yes. Would you like to see the side or rear? Or?
We're gonna go one at a
Okay.
time.
Yeah, no problem. Zoom up for-
All right, so that's the north side. Okay, so one of the comments from staff was maybe incorporating some technique to break up that mass. Did you look into that at all?
We did. I proposed, one of the recommendations was doing a change in the wall plane, which the owners were opposed to. We decided to do a hardy look. It is a 5-inch tall hardy board versus the 4-inch vinyl. So that could give, some breakup on that. But yeah, at this point, we don't have anything for that.
That's fine. And then looking at this elevation, the windows on the existing house seem narrower and taller than these windows on the addition. Is that the case?
No.
So those are the same dimension?
It doesn't look like they're the same dimension, but we're going to try to carry over the existing style and size into the addition.
Okay. All right, so let's move to the south elevation.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, so you have those, all right, so those doors are on the south, but you also have a pair of those doors on, I guess it would be the west as well, or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, so and you got an 18-inch overhang there. So what is happening in that room immediately west of the existing house that doesn't have any windows?
Here, this is a kitchen. So that's the extension of the kitchen. They're gonna have some wall cabinets there.
Okay,
The idea was proposed to add a window because per the condition where they wanted to have some break on this side as well. This window was not there before, so we added that window. That was one of their recommendations, was to add some more windows there, so
Okay, all right, now how about the west elevation? Okay. All right, so you don't need any step because you're at grade, okay? All right, and any exterior light fixtures?
Not at this time.
Okay, downspouts, gutters?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, and did we see any hardware? You-
For the doors?
Yep.
They want to mimic that same hardware in that
Okay.
brass color handled.
And then foundation and enclosure materials, but you're not gonna have any exposed, you're bringing the hardy board down? How is that? Can you go back to your wall section?
Yeah, what we did show was, we made a note of that here, was that any of the above-ground foundation or concrete would be finished with stucco, similar to what they have on the existing house,
Okay, fair enough.
so that we don't bring it all the way down. It doesn't hold up pretty good.
Excellent, all right. And then you had mentioned that fencing is already in place. And then Commissioner Jones had mentioned screening the AC units. Is the fencing that's in place going, are you gonna be able to see the AC units from the street?
No,
Okay, well, that's
No.
good enough.
no,
Okay.
there's gates all around the perimeter. I mean, there's a fence all around the perimeter, and then there's fences on either side. Right here, you can see on either side of the front facade.
Okay. Yeah, that's it for me. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, you have 5 minutes for rebuttal if you so choose.
Thank you guys for letting me present tonight. It's my first time, and hopefully I did all right, but thanks for your patience. So, thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, at this point, we're gonna close the public portion of the hearing and move on to discussion.
I think he's done a fine job. He's just missing a couple of small details that I believe that he could work through with staff. I don't know that he's ready for final approval, but I think he's 95% there, 90% there.
What are the issues?
Hardware specs he doesn't have. I don't think the PGT windows, the metal windows, I don't think those are appropriate. I think staff is gonna have an issue with that rear hip roof and outer hip roof. The French doors that he has spec currently, he doesn't have a model on them. They're just kind of there, along with the hardware, it's just kind of there. So I think he needs to finalize a couple of things.
How does the soffit, exposed metal soffit?
I don't know how that works. I've never heard that before.
Never seen it.
Yeah,
No. I don't know how you're gonna pass code with that.
well, I was about to say, I don't know how that works with the wind rating, but.
It doesn't.
So I think if there's a motion be made that that's something that has to be talked to about staff, about the material that would be exposed if that detail
Mm-hmm.
was flagged. What about you two? What's your thoughts?
I'm still confused about the windows, you know, like, I understand that, that wood windows are not a requirement. Is that true, in your opinion?
I think that's up for debate. It's a non-contributing structure.
Yeah.
So really, in my opinion, we're more worried about, complementing the character of the neighborhood.
Mhm.
And I would be concerned about bringing aluminum windows in, but again, is it required or is it recommended? And that's,
Well, I think there's a differentiator between the old home and the new addition. We try to differentiate by using different siding, different windows. Just Monday night, we had that similar situation.
but
that's-
again, that doesn't apply to this non-contributing
Oh,
structure.
yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Have we run into this before?
Yeah, Elaine? Do I have to open it back up?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna open up the public portion of the hearing again. So Elaine, the question, go ahead, you ask it.
The question is, you know, can you explain a little bit more about the recommendation on aluminum versus wood, and what's been the history with this issue in the past?
Okay. Elaine Lund, Historic Preservation staff, certainly. Typically what we see on new construction for entirely new buildings or separate like accessory structures in this district, we would typically look for a vinyl window in most cases. This is actually kind of a little unusual for me too. I don't think that, trying to search my memory to see if we've done one of these before that's had the original metal windows and whether they're replicated, but I think that as far as that's probably the best match you're going to get for the look of the mullions and the muttons that are in the existing windows. Typically with vinyl windows, they read a little flatter than I think these do, but
Well, yeah, I mean, just the concern that I have is, or the question I have is the flatness of the aluminum windows, because it looks like to me they were fin windows, right?
Mhm.
So, right?
So it looked like.
Yeah. And so I'm just kind of scratching my head on that, and just kind of trying to understand if that shouldn't be inset, to help create a little bit more depth on the project, and make it more consistent with the neighborhood. I mean, at least that, about recessing it back and inside rather than being a fin window.
So then, here's a question. From a staff perspective, you're dealing with non-contributing structures. The intent of additions to non-contributing structures obviously is not using historic material.
correct.
So then what guides the standards from a consistency standpoint?
So typically, we would look at the Secretary of the Interior standards, which were nicely expanded with the recommendations for rehabilitation, looking at related new construction. They have, the Secretary of the Interior standards now do include a section on related new construction, so that would be applicable to new construction in a historic district that's not necessarily that for new construction that is in the historic setting but not affecting a historic property itself. So you can see on page 4 of our staff report, we have this section here from their the standards and treatments
That doesn't
for
seem to really-
rehabilitation. It does state that it's not recommended to replicate the features of historic buildings when designing a new building, so that it would not be confused. However, you also don't want to create anything that detracts or that results in the diminution or loss of historic character of the district. So
Right.
I think it's simply something you would have to weigh. If it's your preference to look at an alternate window, you may ask the applicant if they are open to doing so.
Well, one of in the Tampa Heights design guidelines on page 3, it says that for the materials, use of materials common to the district and avoidance of use of inappropriate materials. So I guess if the aluminum is not inappropriate, but is it common, and is it more common, to have some other type,
Yeah,
of window?
yeah. My feeling is that the design of the building doesn't have, it may offend the applicant, but it doesn't have much going for it, as far as design details. And to me, a flush aluminum window is really not helping the district. I'm just talking about the district. If they, you know, that could at least happen, then I think the project would be better and more consistent with the neighborhood.
So for the applicant, you hear what we're talking about.
Yeah, we are not, full disclosure, we are not married to the aluminum window at all. If vinyl's the way, and maybe I misspoke saying that that's what they're married, they don't want to change their mind, they are open to anything. So
Okay.
vinyl, they'll do aluminum, whatever.
And you do understand too about setting the window back in,
Totally.
add a little bit of character. And then while I've got you and we got this open, again, the hip roof versus the gable on the rear. Would they be open to that? Because based on your elevations, it doesn't look functionally that would affect anything on the house.
No problem.
Okay,
No, just a
Okay.
matter of letting our trust manufacturer know, that's it.
okay.
Okay. While you're there.
What'd you say?
While you're up,
Yeah.
I am going to ask you about the trim around the windows, since I'm kind of focusing in on that. Can you describe that trim in more detail, just as far as dimensions go?
Yeah, and if you'll put an elevation up so we can see it.
Yeah. Let me find two more elevations really quick for you. So as you see here, this is kind of the trim that we're going for with the Hardy. The existing window being in vinyl has the white vinyl trim, a little bit thinner than what they'd like. They're probably thinking more of a,
Can you zoom out just a hair, please?
oh, I apologize. I just think if I put it up there, everyone can see, so that's my fault. This is a little bit, if you can see, it's a little bit thinner trim around the windows, which we can definitely do, something like a 1x2 or something on the Hardy trim around it. They
Are
would,
you proposing the same dimension on all four sides?
for the
Trim?
vinyl trim,
Yeah.
they would like to do a little bit thicker trim,
Okay.
something like a 1x4 on that Hardy. That's their desire. So, but like I said, they're not married to certain dimensions on
And then
that.
will you put the elevation back up, please?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And then zoom into one of the windows so we can just see the window. All right, so that looks like it's uniform width around it, so, okay.
Right, yeah, and I think that's okay. I would suggest having a little taller piece on the top of the window, you know, 1x6 and 1x4s on the sides and bottom, but, all right, thank you.
All right, while it's still open, any other questions? Okay, Elaine, thank you very much for your explanation. All right, at that point, we're gonna close the public hearing again and finish up our discussion. Is there, I think we made some progress there. I'm just making some comments. Sounds like we've got some points for staff, but is anybody?
I got door hardware specs,
Mhm.
I got door specs, the soffit material. Windows specs and setback. I think they need to do a better job on their wall detail to show that setback.
Okay,
Window trim design,
yeah.
I mean the hip roof on the rear.
So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looks like 6 items, some of them grouped together, but, so,
Yep.
would you like to?
Sure.
I have one question. I don't know if you noticed, and I don't think it really matters, and hopefully it doesn't. We probably need to just make a note on the application that it's Tampa Heights instead of Ybor City,
Oh,
just to clarify.
Just the wrong boxes.
Yeah. Just if somebody comes 100 years later.
They blame you?
They'll come looking for you.
So are we doing
Yeah, 150.
preliminary approval?
Well, that's a discussion part. No, my attitude is, me personally, I think we can finalize this with comments.
conditions?
With conditions, yeah.
Final approval with conditions? Okay. So I move to grant a certificate of appropriateness for the drawings and documents presented in the public hearing in ARC-25-0000468 for the property located at 2712 North Jefferson Street in the Hillsborough Heights? Is that correct?
No,
Tampa Heights, sorry, Tampa Heights Historic District, for the following conditions, or with the following conditions. The door hardware specs need to be hashed out, door specs, soffit material needs to be better detailed, window details to not include aluminum windows and a setback in the exterior walls, along with a more detailed window trim and a hip roof at the rear of the addition.
Yeah, and I would say the soffit material, a optional soffit material in the event that.
And then optional soffit material in the event that it doesn't meet code
Exactly.
for the wind design. Is there anything else to put on there? No. Yes? Yeah, I just want to make sure that you don't want anything else. Because based on the finding in fact, the proposed project is consistent with the Tampa Heights design guidelines of the city of Tampa for the following reasons. It meets massings, layout, and design.
Second.
All right, so we have a second. All right, to the applicant, do you understand those conditions and do you agree with those conditions?
I do, sir.
Okay, great. All right, seeing no other discussion, we have a motion that's been seconded for final approval with conditions. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, look forward to it. All right, and then I'm looking for a motion to receive and file submitted documents and exhibits.
So move.
All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, and we will close this hearing.
Good job.
Thank you very much. Thank you.